Hey everybody, it's Mark Roger here, Clark Commando, 1983, and it's May 29th. As usual, it's about 2 in the morning. And I went ahead and played out a few turns, if you've been following along, since my last, this is a synopsis of my after action report for the Tractor Works Classic Squad Leader. And just some final thoughts. I ended it at the beginning of turn 6, the Russian turn, which they were the ones that got to go first. And I'll go over why and go over a couple little highlights that happened in the intervening turn since my last report. If you like my content, please like and subscribe and comment. It's always super appreciated. So just a couple little highlights. We had, and I'm not going to go in any particular order, I actually had 2 Russian units that went berserk. This one just went berserk. So it actually hadn't even had a chance to move yet. Went berserk in the defensive fire phase, I think, of the German turn. Or no, the advancing fire phase, the German turn. So that's why it hasn't moved. But they got a morale check, broke a couple of the units, Russian units, which went here, and this guy went berserk. There was another guy, a turn earlier, went berserk here, advanced out into the street, got waxed by, which just looks like an impressive stack, and it fairly is. But it's actually all that's left in here are 2 engineer squads, the 2 838s and the leader. And they got a couple light machine guns, and a demolition charge, and their flamethrower. They never did pick up the Russian heavy machine gun because it would have been too many portage points. And I wanted to keep the flamethrower, which miraculously didn't run out of fuel. Then the other, and I'll go over why I ended this scenario in a minute. The other highlight was here. We've had, these guys have been in close combat since, I think, turn 2. And finally, on a 3-2, because there was 1 engineer squad left in here. There again, this looks impressive, but it's just a lot of support weapons and whatnot. 3 Russian squads against the 8, so 3-2. Finally got a 6. The Germans kept doing 2-1s against 1 squad and could never get anything done. So, as you can see, the Russians kind of swept through here. You know, see any other exciting highlights that happened. This German squad here there was quite a bit of stuff here, like 20 factors of squads, which now dispersed, but kept shooting at this hex with this German with the heavy machine gun, and he kept holding out, and finally he broke, and hadn't been able to get back. So anyways, I went ahead and ended it because, you know, honestly, with the wave of all these Russians coming, and all this guy, you know, we got a broken German squad here, which granted could rally. This guy's under DM. He wasn't going to rally this turn. We had 1 squad left here. So even if we rallied here, there have been 3 squads and 2 engineer squads. And we just got so much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the leader. With these guys having won their close combat, and then getting the fanaticism for being in the factory. I don't know, I just really felt like, honestly, I was like kind of running out of steam, having fun playing it, but I just really didn't think the Germans had a chance. So I think what I'm going to be doing, I haven't quite decided yet and committed 100%. But I think I'm going to go ahead and read the rules that are necessary to play scenario 3, which I'm not going to do. If you're familiar, there's 3A, B, C. I'm just going to play the whole 3 if I do it. But basically, it introduces, I'm going to have to read the rules, but introduces sewer movement, armored fighting vehicles, cruise, AFV combat, AFVs as cover. What else? Malfunctions, Panzerfaust, bazookas, infantry versus AFVs, immobilization, and the fate rules for armor. So basically introduces armor. That means I got to read 1, 2, 3, looks like 4, another 4.5 whole pages of rules. One thing I'll say that's interesting to me is that an ASL player, and I gotta say I'm having a great time doing this retro. I still prefer ASL, but I am having a good time. But already, like, it's really interesting going back, because like I said, I was like 12 years old the first time I played this, and having played all the way through GI, and then I got into ASL, like, honestly, the day it came out, I bought it. Back in 1986, whenever that was, I think. There is a couple of things that I kind of missed off and on through the rules, and it's just the way the rules are laid out. Not quite as sensible as ASL. For example, I knew you couldn't fire machine guns, and it's not always in the advancing fire phase. But that's actually not true. What it is Rule 5.74 says, and this is where it caught me, was any squad carrying 4 or more portage points, or a leader with 2 or more, during the movement phase may not fire support weapons in the advancing fire phase. That means you could fire light machine guns. It doesn't say you have to move, it just says carrying them. So that means like your medium machine guns and your heavy machine guns can't fire in the advancing fire phase. But where that's at in the rules was a little weird to me. And then I also missed a couple times when a leader fails a morale check, or later on gets killed by a sniper, which these are the 4th edition rules, so it incorporates that. Which I believe is Cross of Iron. Basically takes an extra morale check, just straight up morale check. And that's kind of, it's under morale, right? But anyways, for some reason, it's actually in bold too. So, but for some reason, I missed that off and on. And then also, under the broken rules, when you roll, wait, broken rules or fate? See, this is where I screwed up. Any infantry unit under fate, when you roll a 12, trying to rally, you're eliminated. Any infantry unit, which includes leaders. And it talks about you roll 2 for berserk. That's like under the fate rule also, which is rule 18. And then under broken units, let's see here. Prior to routing, you abandon machine guns. And then, under broken units, 13.6. If a unit is broken again, or if is broken and takes a morale check, and you break again, then you're eliminated. And also, let's see, I think this is where it talks about desperation morale. Is it true? Let's see. That's what I mean. It's kind of, that's routing. But, Rallying broken units. Maybe it's under there. Oh yeah, here you go. See, this is under rallying, right? So when you're trying to rally, which it makes sense, I guess, and you're been fired upon by one or more firepower factors, regardless of the effect, has to roll desperation morale. So, anyways, that's just a couple observations. I'm having a good time. You know, I admit it, I'm having a great time doing this, you know, so. But I appreciate you guys watching. Ladies, if any ladies out there, I'm going to read these rules. And it looks like next up, when I get to it, might be tomorrow, it won't be tonight, that's for sure. We'll be doing Streets of Stalingrad, which basically adds armor to the Guards counterattack, which we already did videos on, and the tractor works. So, and then after that, the Hedgehog of Pips will introduce offboard artillery, and we'll see how far you get. I mean, I'm having a good time. I got a copy of Cross of Iron for Sendo Doom, so I don't know that I'm not going to play 10 million scenarios because I want to move on to a different. What I might do is get through this and we'll see what's next. We're just going to kind of play it by ear. But thanks for joining me, and we'll see y'all soon. Bye.